How is technology a part of your career in FM?
From my personal experience, we have always been a tech-led company. We've operated a CAFM system from supply reception. That has taken on 2 rounds, 2 guises. We had an original one and then we have a brand new one. And that has allowed us to deliver and also then grow at a rate which I don't think we would have been able to without that technology. I couldn't imagine managing the amount of information that we do and the clients that we do without that technology in place.
I started off as a developer, a programmer. I took a job as a developing Concept 500 that some of you may have heard of from many years ago. It was one of the first Windows-based CAFM systems available on the market. And in those days, everything was very hard services focused. There was a lot of emphasis on the products, just looking after the assets, the fabric of the building, and the technology was really shut away in the basement. So we were actually looking at the people who were using the system was mainly churning out PPMs. It was fairly primitive compared to what we've seen today. And if you look at the journey of how FM has evolved, bringing in soft services, having a lot more focus on the delivery of workplace experience for the end user, you'll actually see that the systems and technology have developed to support that themselves. So if you look at the technology that's being used today, mobile solutions, we went through the whole thing with people being very worried about being tracked, engineers having to have mobile devices, and suddenly we're past that. And now we're talking new things like the ChatGPT and how that's going to affect us. And no doubt we'll touch on that a bit later today.
Currently, we have 35,000 properties under management. Without tech driving our decision making, analysing the data, looking at trends and patterns, allowing us to be proactive, I don't think we'll be able to deliver that level of service. So tech has given us a real insight where we can make decisions with confidence, backed by the history and the trends that the platform will allow to report into us. So from my perspective, it's really transformed my decision making.
What can digitisation through integrated systems enable for businesses and supply chains?
Yeah, integration for us is a massive thing, and it's opening up transparency, not only for our supply chain, but also our customers. Systems that we're using at the minute, we are looking to develop it as a platform and not just individual software pieces, where we can integrate them across our accounting software or a CAFM system. It all makes a complete network. From a client's perspective, our CAFM system, we're able to network between one another on there, and they can see the same things that we're seeing. So it's a very open and transparent system. It allows them to obtain the information that they need to a level that they don't have to come through us all the time for it. And some of the clients that we have, the information that they're asking and the amounts of time and support that they need, if they were pinging that straight to us and we're having to manually share that, we wouldn't do anything else other than provide them with that information on some occasions. We are, my company, a relatively small team, so having an efficient operation through technologies, through integrations, allows us to sort of punch above our weight in real terms. And then even that into the supply chain as well. Having a system that can integrate across multiple platforms, we're able to then drive efficiencies and take away admin burdens that necessarily would detract from delivering for the end client, and automating processes as much as possible across each of our systems is just an absolute godsend. Being able to, we're looking at something at the minute where we can take emails, attachments to emails, and automatically port them straight into our CAFM system. And yeah, it may only seem like, if you look at it on the face of it, a 20-second job to click, download, and then re-upload it. But if you multiply that over thousands of jobs across the year, tens of thousands, that time that you save, those seconds, you earn back in potential days at the end of a contract, of an FM contract that you've delivered.
And Shumon, obviously with 35,000, 40,000 properties, I imagine automation is quite critical to you guys, and you've been through that journey. Is there any sort of recommendations that you give to anyone that's actually probably wanting to go through that digitalisation at all?
Be committed. As I get older, my job becomes less about property and more about change management, convincing people, buying, really highlighting the product of the improvements and the efficiencies. That probably takes up most of my time now. Because if you don't have buy-in from your various stakeholders, technology won't even get into the desks. So really highlighting the benefits and allowing people to adjust. And obviously nowadays it's an intergenerational office. So some people might embrace it without any issues, some people may require a bit more time. But it's just to be mindful that everyone has a different learning style, and to really help plan that integration, I think buy-in has got to be there. Because there are, I mean, I've been through it myself, and one of my companies were going through to that digitalisation process, and I personally felt the pain that it caused. Then at the end, when we saw the light and how it improved our efficiencies and ultimately our resident experience, I thought we should have done this years ago. But there is going to be times of panicking, doubts, but it's just been committed that if you don't future-proof yourself, you're not going to be a market leader.
Following on from that, Paul, have you experienced that yourself, almost from the supplier perspective, of you need that commitment, you need to have someone that you can trust in as well?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole principle of, I mean, even the name of the CAFM system moved to Integrated Workplace Management System, so it was the whole focus on that integration piece, that bringing things together. The engagement throughout the whole supply chains is essential for successful FM delivery. It was Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, who said a few years ago, every company is now a software company. And that's absolutely true if you look at how we as FM have to deliver services to our customers through software products that maybe we don't know, maybe we don't develop, they're not our products, but it's an integral part of our business now to be able to provide that. And that's why the CAFM systems and the IWMS systems have evolved so much in terms of that, the integration piece and the connectivity with the supply chain.
I know that talk about automations, Penguin is very, very automated and tech-driven. Can you describe or think of a scenario where tech has been the only thing that's been able to answer that, and what the impact on the business might have been if technology wasn't there?
I think it's difficult to say scenario where technology alone has delivered it, because I think technology and AI, it's brilliant, it works, but if you don't have someone to ultimately set it up in the first place and then process the information it kicks out at the end of it, it's useless. But it's a two-pronged approach, isn't it? They work in dovetail. The person and the technology all work together, and that's where you get your harmony, where it delivers an outcome that provides the solution that's needed for either the client, the supplier, or yourself as a business. I think I will touch on sort of the example that we did when we went through development from our CAFM system, being able to improve efficiency when we had a major issue between, we got to the point of where we deliver a job, deliver the PPO and call out whatever it may be, and then we had a massive inefficiency of getting that out of the CAFM system and into our account system to then actually bill the client. And it was a growing pain that we went through, and we looked at it and thought, what's a smarter way of doing this? And our first thought was, what about more people? More people to do that. But then really, we're technology-led and we have technologies there. We started looking at it and what is the answer from a technological standpoint? And we worked it out. We worked with, obviously yourselves, worked to develop the link between our CAFM system and our accounting software. And instead of having to take on 4 more people, maybe in this market of giving more people jobs and all that sort of stuff, but actually for us it was the efficiency where we just needed to look at the technology, see what's available there, and then with very little overhead and outlay we actually managed to solve a problem without having to have a massive outlay of cost to us as a young growing business.